Hello everyone. Last video I'm making today, I'm going to go over chapter 22, homework 2, numbers 4 and 8. So if you've done chapter 22 homework or looked at it, you'll notice that homework 1 is all proportions, homework 2 is all means. So this is what we're talking about here. We're going to compare two mu's, two means. Okay, so open chapter 22, homework set 2. And I'm going to do number 4. Okay, and it starts right in the weeds, so let's do this. Let's do it to it. So what do we have here? We moved to a new city. He's got 2 routes he could take to work. He averages, so someone is claiming to him that route A averages 5 minutes better than route B. So the man decides to experiment. So he flips a coin to determine, driving each route 10 days. So 1 takes an average of 41 with a standard deviation of 1, 42 with a standard deviation of 3. Roughly symmetric, no outliers, and we're going to use alpha level 0.05. It's now no longer called the p-value cutoff. Okay, so 98% confidence for route B minus route A, right? So that's important because of the order here that we'll put these in. So 2mu, this is where we are. We're over here in the confidence interval. We want 95% confidence, looking a lot like all the other confidence interval parts of the worksheet. So driving each route 10 days. So we have a sample of 10 for each of these, right? The route B takes an average of 42 minutes, and the standard deviation is 3. Route A, because we're doing route B minus route A, right? So B has to be 1 and A has to be 2. X bar for A was 41 minutes, and the standard deviation was 1 minute. Okay, so construct a 95% confidence interval. We have done that. So enter your n's and your x bars and your s's, enter your 95% or your confidence level, and we're ready to rock. Copy, paste that in there with 2 decimal places. So that would be go up to a 3. Copy, pastify. That would also go up to a 3. All right, there we go. That's how it works. So, should the man believe the old timer's claim that he can save 5 minutes driving route A? If that was the case, if route A was 5 minutes better, then this would have come out -5. Note that there's no -5 in this interval. No, because the confidence interval does not contain 5 minutes. Nice work. Thank you. Thank you. I think so. Or I'm sorry. Let's back up a little bit there. Why is this -5 or +5 instead of -5? If route A is better, then it would be 5 minutes shorter. Yes, yes. So there would be a +5 difference here. Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. Cool. That's what it is. Okay. So I've done a video about basic stats. This would be a great place to enter these values into basic stats and get your summary statistics from that. I don't know. Might do it later. Not going to do it now. Excuse me. Okay. All right. So, interesting study here. They showed a group of, so they showed some people violent, some people sexual, some people neutral television programs, and they asked about their responses to the commercials, um, to recall the brands of the advertised products. Okay, so we think, so we're going to test the hypothesis that there's no difference in ad memory between sexual or violent content. Okay, so we're going to hypothesis test. That's where we're at here. So let's review here. Test that there is no difference. So this is going to be an equal and not equal kind of situation. We're going to assume there's no difference, and we're going to see if there is a difference, right? Okay, so number of subjects. So let's make sure we do the difference right. So they are putting the mean recalled number of advertisements as the first one. So that's our N1. So it's all 107. Doesn't really matter. 107, but this part does, right? The sexual is what we're going for here. So on average, people remembered 1.51 with a standard deviation of 1.58. So I guess some people had really great memories, some people had really poor ones. 107, X bar for violent memories, 2.27. 1.72. It's not 782, 72. Okay. That is what we've got. Okay. They want us to put an alpha level here. The alpha level we want to use is 0.05. And I know that only because it's given in, oh, it was given in the last problem. We want an alpha level of 0.05. Yeah, that's in general the alpha level you want. So there's your T star. That's your cutoff, right? Your test statistic is negative. Well, it's bigger than that. We'll put it that way, right? This is far outside of that region around 0 we care about, right? And we're considering both tails here. So if in absolute value this was greater than that, we will reject. P-value is less than 0.05, so we reject. You know, that's what happened here. We rejected. Okay. So, and they told us the p-value. Okay, so identify the null and alternative. So what did we say? We said we assume the difference is 0, and we're going to test to see if it's not actually 0. So this is our guy, right? Null is always an equals to something, so equals 0, and not equal to 0 because we're doing a two-tail on this guy, right? Okay. State the conclusion. Since the p-value is less than 0.05, the null hypothesis that there is no difference between the two types of programs is rejected. I really like the way they said that, saying nothing about the alternative. While the p-value is not greater, the null hypothesis that there is no difference. Okay, there we are. That's what we do. That's the conclusion we draw. If the p-value is small, the null hypothesis gets rejected. Right. Okay, but are sexual programs better than neutral programs? So let's see this. Let μS be the population mean sexual shit. Okay, and we are testing. Is there evidence that viewer memory for ads may differ between programs, sexual and neutral? Okay, so again, we're going to assume neutral, or we're going to assume no difference, and we're going to test to see if there is one. Okay, find the test statistic. So that can trip you up. If it's just asking for like one thing, you know, what do you find? Well, in this case, the test statistic is computed as part of this worksheet. So just do that. Just open this worksheet and do it and pull this value out. Okay, so this is still the stuff for sexual content. So we just have to replace the violent content with neutral content. So still 107. Now it's 3.26 and it's 1.93. Okay, all right. Still using, doesn't matter what we're using. Okay. So we're still testing equal or not equal to, and here is our test statistic. It is very big. We're going to round it to 2 decimal places. That's going to be a 2.6. Oh, thank you. The p-value, that's this thing. So if we rounded that to 3 decimal places, notice the e-12 there, 3 decimal places of this number is 0.000. Good job. Thank you, Pearson. Okay. So the p-value is basically 0, at least when we have 3 decimal places. So it is smaller than our alpha level, 0.05, so we reject the null hypothesis. Reject null. So there's insufficient evidence to suggest that the viewer adds differ. We were testing to see if they were the same. We reject H naught. There is sufficient evidence to suggest that viewer, yes. Yes. All right. Okay. So there's at least one video out for every tab of the worksheet. That doesn't necessarily mean everything you need is here. So if you need something and it ain't here, tell me and you'll get a point of extra credit, of course. And perhaps most importantly, everyone else in the class will benefit from you speaking up because they'll also be able to view a tutorial video. All right, guys, have a wonderful Easter if I don't see you Friday.